So there goes the neighborhood. That's the focus of tonight's angle. They're all acting, the anti-ICE insurgents, the paid protesters, Antifa, and the politicians encouraging all the hysteria. They've memorized their lines.
We are trying to find a way forward to keep people safe, to protect our neighbors.
All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted. We take care of our neighbors.
Wait, who are these neighbors? The neighbors they're so anxious to protect? Well, say hello to Julio Cesar Sosa Celis and Gabriel Alejandro Hernandez Ledesma and Alfredo Alejandro Ayorna, all illegals from Venezuela who carried out an ambush of an ICE agent yesterday in North Minne. Sosa Celis says was apparently the first to assault the agent. Then the other two emerged from a nearby apartment to join in on the attack. Well, fearing for his life, the agent fired his weapon, shooting Sosa Celis in the leg.
I would say that our agent is beat up, he's bruised, he's injured, he's getting treatment, and we're thankful that he made it out alive.
Mugging for the cameras, this was Sosa Celis, obviously a lot of regret on his face when he was being taken away. Now, when that unfolded, surely, I thought, for a millisecond, that would have been enough to tip the Democrats back towards sanity. I was wrong.
If there were neighbors and others who came out to help this person, that is just an example of Minnesota being a place where we help our neighbors.
If did, in fact, have some sort of weapons to use to attack the ICE officer, would that change your opinion?
Actually, no.
No, encouraging battery against agents. Yeah, literally doing so. Because Twisted Tim says ICE is committing the equivalent of war crimes.
Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans.
Oh, the list, the database, Tim the Tracker. And he said, we're going to prosecute ICE agents for carrying out lawful federal operations. Is this man insane? I still can't believe this guy could have been vice president. And even while Jacob Frey told the insurgents not to take the bait in responding to ICE, in another breath, he said this.
We have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors.
Frey says fight ICE, urging police to fight ICE agents. Again, it's insanity, but not if this is what you want, right? Not if unless this is really what you want, is civil war in the streets. Plus, apparently, neither of them have heard of something called the Supremacy Clause. Again, I'm going to get a lot of pocket constitutions and just pass them out to all these people. So they're for tracking ICE, fighting ICE, prosecuting ICE. Now, words that for many people on the edge would convey a license to kill ICE. Yeah, it's getting worse because now they're stealing weapons. Insurgents are arming up. I told you this was going to happen, and it is happening. They're breaking into FBI vehicles. They're also stealing government documents.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, bro, you're not arresting one. Hey, take this to the news.
Stealing weapons, stealing government documents. It sounds like a conspiracy to me. Now, everyone in those videos that we just showed should be really worried tonight. A source telling the Ingraham angle that the FBI believes it is close to multiple arrests there. Of course, the press, come on, they're culpable as well by continuing to fan the flames, jumping on last night's ICE-involved shooting story with zero context. The part about the illegals beating the agent with a shovel wasn't immediately highlighted by the press, giving the mob the green light. As I showed last week when I was there, People are definitely being paid.
Shame!
Oh, bro, that's so boring.
Shame! Shame!
Do you have a job?
To the human race.
Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now.
I'm getting paid right now. I mean, all of what they do seems phony. It seems rehearsed, as if they're getting paid an hourly wage to do it. They had nothing else to do, I guess. But these insurgent zeros are the left's heroes. After all, they're rioting for all of us.
The country faces a choice. It's a moral choice in some ways, with political implication about who we're going to be. And these folk are acting in the name of the country.
These folk are acting in the name of all... What? Oh, okay, wait. I just want to understand. So you fight ICE agents, you steal weapons, you steal documents, you hit them with broom handles and shovels, and you're the real patriots? Who else are the patriots? This guy?
If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, around and find out. Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window.
I'll put a hole in their chest. Well, that's a campaign commercial for the Republican Party right there. But the progressives' descent into anarchy, let's face it, this has been a long time coming. From Philly to L.A. to Oakland and, of course, Minneapolis, Democrats and their soft-on-crime, anti-police, pro-sanctuary policies have destroyed neighborhoods, not ICE. They're the ones who have been driving out longtime residents who just want good jobs and safe streets. So it's been a wicked spiral. But Democrats don't care. They're happy to see their cities go down the drain, as long as the money keeps coming. They protect the worst neighbors imaginable. So if this isn't the neighborhood you want to live in, don't sit on the sidelines. Get involved, vote, and support the men and women of ICE. And that's the angle.
Move over, ICE mommies. Trantifa will take it from here.
That's what you get when you come to Minnesota.
From here on out, it's J6 every night in Minneapolis, after the call went out from Governor Walz.
And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record.
Timmy came out last night and told the mommy mob to hit the streets and stalk agents with cameras. The only thing you're not allowed to record are Somali fraud rings. This time, the crowd looked a little gnarlier, if you can believe it. It looked like a big Antifa reunion. And they were doing a lot more than just recording. They broke into an FBI vehicle and used a tow rope to rip out a weapons locker.
Hey, don't hit them.
Masked vigilantes looted the car, stole a weapon, bulletproof vests, and stacks of sensitive government documents. These documents had names of federal agents and their locations. The rioters immediately exploited the intel and began doxing agents online. This was a major intelligence breach. Homan just announced they've arrested the perpetrator, and he's going to face felony charges. But countless federal agents' lives are now in danger. Meanwhile, Homan's family's getting death threats, and the ICE agent who got rammed by Renee was forced into hiding. And left-wing militants are joining forces, threatening the lives of federal police. Here are the Black Panthers.
I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. We're a little more aggressive now, you dig? You want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher, you meet them with equal force.
You've got the minivan militia, the Black Panthers, Antifa, and now the bad hombres feel like they have backup. Yesterday, ICE was attacked by a group of violent Biden migrants. 3 Venezuelan nationals jumped an ICE agent with weapons. All three were caught and released by Biden and had been harbored in the sanctuary city of Minneapolis. Julio was the target. A traffic stop turned into a vehicle pursuit. He crashed, then fled on foot. When the agent caught him, his two Venezuelan amigos came out and started hitting the agent with a snow shovel and a broom handle. The officer was forced to fire off a defensive shot, hitting Julio in the leg, before the three of them ran into an apartment and barricaded themselves inside. Eventually, they all got iced. But this hombre, Julio, doesn't seem like he has any regrets. Here he is grinning ear to ear at the hospital. This is who the left is trying to protect. Violent Venezuelans with criminal histories. The media, too. Look at this headline from the Times. Federal agent shoots man in Minneapolis. A man in Minneapolis. That's how the media stokes violence. These ICE stalkers just see the headline. They think ICE is on a killing spree, so they hit the streets and riot. Never let a crisis go to waste, right? So now Democrats are using an ICE agent getting attacked with a shovel as an excuse to give people free rent.
I'm bringing a resolution calling on Governor Walz to declare a eviction moratorium because as we're living under this occupation, people can't, as we've seen with last night's shootings, they can't even travel on the expressway safely.
They're using the word occupation for federal officials to be in an American city. By their logic, the whole country is being occupied by the Trump administration. And their solution is to violently expel them. Naturally, people are taking it as a call to arms. Homeland Security, last night, arrested a man assaulting a federal agent in the Twin Cities. Police found a handgun and a box of ammo on him. Mayor Small Fry is justifying the insurrection.
Imagine if that city or that town was suddenly invaded by thousands of federal agents that do not share the values that you hold dear.
The invaders who don't hold our values are the illegals. They're saying federal police don't have the right to be in Minneapolis, but MS-13 does? Murderers, sex traffickers, thieves. They're trying to keep us out and them in. They want to turn their town into an anti-ICE igloo.
We are on our own. So what are you going to do about it? I acknowledge the difficulty of a city standing up to the federal government, but that should only inspire our creativity. I would recommend that our snowplows should dump snow to block the roads to the Whipple building and any staging areas to prevent these thugs from launching violent raids on our city.
An SUV was just caught dumping water around a federal building to ice the roads so agents and their cars slip and crash. And they want their local cops to get in a shootout with the feds.
And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street.
Fry's not going to do that, but the Minneapolis police are being asked to do the unthinkable by the streets, to start a civil war. But they're not even the ones on the front lines. It's the ICE moms.
Some people say, you know, you guys shouldn't be here, you should go get a job. What's your answer to those people?
I have a job.
8 kids.
8 kids, and I am protecting my country, my community for them.
You have 8 kids, and you're fighting to keep child molesters in the neighborhood? And you're not even home to protect them? Is dad home? Imagine your wife tells you, can you pick up the 8 kids from school and throw a dinner together? I'm going to be out fighting ICE with my whistle and the family minivan. Instead of making sandwiches for their kids, they're buying lunch for illegals. Watch.
Beans, rice, corn, got other veggies, potatoes. Hopefully get them through for a week. We're gonna grab 2 dozen eggs. We got 2 bags for these families. Families of 4, unfortunately it's not enough, but I'll see if we can get back there Thursday to get some meat and extras for them.
No wonder food's so expensive. There's 10 million more mouths to feed since Joe Biden let everybody in. And now every woman with issues wants to be like Renee Good. They're shaving their heads, lacing up combat boots, and putting their lives on the line. Why? Because Renee Good is now a feminist hero. who's probably going to have a statue built just like George Floyd.
Renee Good. I want you to remember her name. She's a martyr. She's sacrificed. She's been taken away from us, and we will never forget her. We'll always hold up her memory. Are we right? Yeah! And I want you to know that this lady, she died when she was trying to help the most vulnerable neighbors in our community.
They're already calling her the female Floyd.
Nobody's safe.
Yeah.
White women aren't safe. They'll kill them too. And so I think it's a George Floyd level moment. I think Renee Good becomes like the George Floyd of this resistance against ICE.
They're running the same playbook they ran in 2020. Demoralize police, defund them, threaten to throw them in prison, and create a rash of early retirements and white guilt. And the media, even though they know that backfired big time last time, they're all in.
Renee Good, unfortunately and tragically killed.
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed it unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat.
The media is turning ICE rammers into heroes. Harris probably start bailing rioters out like she did last time, even though the people in Minnesota want ICE to be there.
You gotta love small towns in Minnesota, honestly. We are so stoked. And honestly, you know what I did after the ICE agents got done with their job and what they were doing? I said, can I buy you all, like something to drink, something to eat? And I did.
Walz could end this today. All he has to do is call off the dogs and cooperate like most other governors. Hold the criminals in jail so ICE can pick them up in a nice, neat, orderly fashion. Noam spoke to him. No bueno. Walz wants war.
I said, you have my personal cell phone. You call me. If you need me, you call me. We will be there to help back you up, but protect your city, protect your state. And he paused for a few seconds, and he just said, yeah, okay. We have very different viewpoints of what's going on.
Trump's considering invoking the Insurrection Act in Minnesota, sending in the Guard. This is a battle of wills. The stakes are high. Can the federal government enforce immigration law like the country voted for? Or will sanctuary states dominate and become third world fortresses inside of America? Minnesota is demanding unlimited flows of foreigners and fraud. And if the federal government tries to stop it, they'll be met with violence. This is a Minnesota insurgency. They're conducting guerrilla warfare against federal agents, tailing them, sabotaging them, ramming them, assaulting them, stealing weapons, and harboring foreign fugitives and fraudsters. And the most grotesque thing about it is that they're forcing women onto the front lines. Now, if the federal government doesn't assert authority over this rebellion, the republic is going to fracture. Other sanctuary states will use the same playbook, forcing federal immigration agents out of their states and harboring migrants for cheap labor, votes, and welfare money. A coalition of sanctuary city-states, impenetrable by the federal government, will bring down the country. And that's what they want.
And tonight, in just a moment, by the way, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna will join us. Like many of his colleagues, Khanna is publicly attacking ICE operations in Minnesota and across the country. But before we face off tonight, let's take a little step back. Let's take a look at the reality on the ground in Minnesota and many sanctuary states all across the country. As we speak, ICE agents are faced with an incredibly difficult task. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they allowed, even encouraged millions and millions of illegal aliens from over 200 countries to cross into this country with a wide open southern border. Among those merely seeking work or a better life or government handouts, there were also scores of hardened criminals, gang members, rapists, pedophiles, terrorists, convicted killers, who spread out all across the entire country. ICE agents, they have a duty. It's their job. It's federal law to locate these criminals and anyone else abusing our sovereignty and deport them before more Americans are hurt in any way. But to make matters worse, sanctuary states, they are shielding these criminals from the federal government and refusing to cooperate. They won't even hand them over after they get out on bail and released from prison, instead forcing ICE to conduct very complicated and very dangerous raids. Just in Minnesota alone, during a recent ICE operation, ICE apprehended multiple child rapists, multiple convicted murderers, gang members, others convicted of sexual assault, weapons charges, and 3 native Minnesotans have been killed by illegal immigrants since Governor Tim Walz took office. But there have been no vigils for any of these victims, no outpouring of anger, sadness, no protesting. You'd be hard-pressed to find any Democrat talking about any of the victims of illegal immigration. Instead, Democrats, they wax poetic about criminals while vilifying ICE agents, professionals, for upholding the law. Take a look.
Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today.
When I see ICE, I see slave patrols.
The dangers that we saw in Nazi Germany are the dangers that we need to react to now.
And these ICE agents running around our communities like masked bank robbers, terrorizing women.
Folks getting snatched off the street by secret police who are wearing masks.
ICE agents who have functionally become a secret federal police force.
ICE federal agents pulling up, terrorizing our communities, hopping out of unmarked vans, stealing and, yes, kidnapping people.
An authoritarian government in Washington, D.C. is dispatching masked agents to abduct immigrants from our streets.
This is Gestapo-like behavior.
There should be no question to what our country will look like had the Confederacy won.
It does look like a Gestapo operation. It does look like the Gestapo.
What the Trump administration is doing here is they are playing race games. They are explicitly racist in a number of occasions here, and that's what they're trying to do on our streets.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans, wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons.
These Democrats are not just smearing the Trump administration. They're inciting a mob. They're encouraging their emotionally disturbed base to engage in risky behavior against law enforcement officials. Assault on ICE agents are up an unprecedented 1,300%. Vehicular attacks are up 3,200%. There is an 8,000% increase in death threats against ICE agents. But just yesterday, Governor Walz continued to inflame tensions, accusing agents of racism. Take a look.
News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos and disruption and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live.
Keep in mind, every administration since 9/11 has ordered ICE raids. Barack Obama deported millions of people, including many who were apprehended during ICE raids, similar to what you are seeing today, with just 2 differences. One, the majority deportation involved non-criminal illegal aliens, and 2, there were no violent mobs trying to block ICE operations and assault agents. Apparently, in this case, it was different because a Democrat was in charge. But our Constitution is the same. The fact that the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution establishes federal law as the supreme law of the land. Of course, that includes immigration enforcement.
Again, not chanting the last name, but it's a start. Good evening, everyone. So former Vice President Kamala Harris and her husband, Doug Emhoff, recently bought an $8 million mansion in Malibu. Yeah, she said she got it in a fire sale. But at over 4,000 square feet, Emhoff boasted that you could have a nanny live there and my wife would never see her.
After record rains, Los Angeles is awash in potholes. In a related story, Tom Cruise has been reported missing. Because he's a little guy just like me. Costco is offering gift cards in return for your outdated electronics, with one man asking, do they take pacemakers? This is interesting. January 14th marked the medieval holiday called Feast of the Ass. Oh. Which today is only celebrated by a few Christians, and for an entirely different reason, this guy. So there's never any leftovers after that feast. Always shows up on an empty stomach. In Ireland, a crashed truck released 15,000 live crabs. Scientists say it was the biggest release of crabs since Hunter Biden left his... since Hunter Biden left his jeans in an Old Navy dressing room. Boy, did I mess that up. All right, who cares? You knew it was coming. According to a new poll, President Trump is the most popular politician in Venezuela. And if you have any doubts, check out their new flag. This week, Ilhan Omar says ICE hasn't been able to produce any evidence they are finding undocumented people who've committed crimes. She would have said more, but she and her brother were due at couples therapy. The Washington National Opera has ended its 55-year residency at the Kennedy Center after the Trump takeover. Now, if you want to go see a fat lady sing, you have to book a trip to Dublin. Unnecessary. Finally, scientists claim male sexual desire peaks at age 40, but women's sexual desire peaks weeknights at 10. Thank you. So in a federal hearing yesterday about abortion drugs, Senator Josh Hawley asked an actual doctor this question.
Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. Yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality.
Doctor or not, I'm keeping her away from my prostate. And this absurd exchange went on longer than a full-term pregnancy. I was on the edge of my seat, mostly from the hemorrhoids. But after 10 more minutes, I was hoping they'd abort this conversation. But hey, maybe she's just being careful. Maybe she thinks Holly's about to pull out a Facebook post she wrote in high school where she claimed roosters could lay eggs. And she got sued by Foghorn Leghorn. But surely she'll come to her senses, right, and answer the question.
Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
can men get pregnant?
There are many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
can men get pregnant?
So much for the come to her senses part. But when it comes to medicine, you can call Josh Hawley Dr. J, because he just dunked on this indoctrinated fool. If you thought Tim Walz was dumb for saying men have periods, Dr. Verma says men might miss them. Who's worse? Don't make us choose. They're both morons. So this is today's modern professional class in one clip. Not doctor, not scientist, not expert, just a bot programmed by a campus diversity office. A simple yes or no question hits the system, and the system short circuits. You could practically hear her internal warning go off. Caution may violate campus protocols. She was this close to flailing her robot arms and shrieking, "Danger, Will Robinson, run!" Verma knows what the right answer is, but like the shopkeeper who sells Larry Kudlow lingerie, she's afraid to speak the truth. And it's extra wild because this hearing was about abortion drugs, stuff that interacts with actual bodies, organs, biology. You know, the unwoke parts of life that refuse to update their pronouns, even if your balls go by they. It doesn't matter what you call these drugs. They're like the Hallmark Channel. They only work on women. Luckily, what? Luckily, Holly was there to provide a little reminder of what she testified to a moment ago.
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So, can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor.
I think yes/no questions are a political tool. No, you're the political tool. Knowing that if you offer the honest answer, you may never be allowed to wear a pink pussy hat again. Look, politicians use language like a smoke machine at a nightclub. It's not there to help you see, it's there to hide how unappealing they really are in the hopes you might do coke with them in the bathroom. But doctors, they're supposed to be the people who don't do that. When you need a life-saving operation, your doctor isn't supposed to ask you, so before I start your open heart operation, clarify your position on Gaza, please. Of course, you know that she'd lie to her doctor since most heart surgeons are Jewish. But this doc thinks you're the simpleton for believing men can't get knocked up. A doctor who's all too willing to sell out women on the most powerful, miraculous thing they can do. So, Doc, let me supply the second opinion you never asked for. No, men can't get pregnant, not even the slutty ones. And medicine isn't meant to advance ideology. The goal is to keep us all awake and breathing. But we're in the era where the simplest reality is treated like a trap, and the trap is reality itself. If you say the truth, you're transphobic, which is great if you're running HR at Harvard. It's less great if you're testifying about drug safety and biology in the Senate, and, people's lives are in the balance. So what can you do with a doctor who's all in on ideology but buckles when it comes to the truth? I wouldn't have her treat my menopause, that's for sure. Let's welcome tonight's guest! Looking directly at his wardrobe can cause seizures. Host of Making Money on Fox Business, Charles Payne. He thinks outside the box, including the one he lives in. Host of the Loftus Party Podcast, comedian Michael Loftus. He looks like the valet who tells you the dent was there before. Chef and restaurant owner Andrew Gruel. And finally, she interviewed Oasis and makes funny faces. Host of Kennedy Saves the World Podcast, Kennedy. Charles, maybe it's me, but I wouldn't let that doctor put a finger up my ass.
Why? You might get pregnant?
Yes. My prostate would grow, and I would think I was pregnant. But I mean, it's fun. They separate. They think that where does your common sense go?
It was like an Abbott and Costello thing, right?
Yeah.
Can men get pregnant? First base. Can they have periods? Home place. It was an Abbott and Costello thing.
Yeah.
But I really believe they were just game. I think everybody was in on something else because this could not have been. This maybe was an LSD hearing.
Yes.
Maybe it was a different hearing. But I did come away because she was so steadfast. I did start asking myself, well, maybe there is a trick to men getting pregnant. So I'm a little worried that I might accidentally trigger it one day, like, whoa, that was great. And then 3 months later, what? So,
yeah.
I mean, no, she was.
It is true.
How could she stay so serious?
It's so, she could create so much misinformation in people's heads if they took her seriously. Like, sometimes I do feel pregnant after, having a big steak. What if I turn on the TV? Maybe I am pregnant. Do I go get one of those little tests at Walgreens?
And where do you put it?
Pee on it? No, you pee on it.
Oh, okay.
So, Michael, do you ever notice the difference between how the left and right use language? Like, we are very direct about the things they say, and they are intended to be indirect, never to get to the honest point.
It's a skill set that there should be like a college or a place that we can go. Well, maybe it's college where you learn how to do this, because she put on a clinic. It really was. I was hesitant to answer your question. I didn't want to go. I didn't know where that was going. I'd like to use that in my life.
Yes.
You know, where were you all night? I'm hesitant to answer that question. Mr. Loftus, you're accused of murder. I don't know where this is going.
Or it's like, yeah, we have tape of you killing the person. It's like, this is probably worth of having a longer conversation.
Right?
About.
You just got to put that vocal fry question mark at the end.
Yes.
And then you can be Dr. Verma's assistant.
Yes. You can have, let's have a conversation about this. It's like they never want to actually talk about it. They always try to push it to the future conversation. We should have a conversation. That's why nothing gets done except the very worst things in liberal cities. My favorite chef, Andrew.
We are cooking right now, I'll tell you that much. Whew, I'm going to pan-sear this puppy. So here's the thing. It is language, right? Language is the ingredient here that we're searing left and right. But they've used language as a weapon, and that's what this comes down to. She couldn't give you a yes or no answer because they know that then ultimately that defines the language that they're trying to rip out of the roots of society and redefine. So this is all about unmooring us from society so that we no longer have traditions and values and rituals, but they're using language as the weapon in order to do so. Imagine going to her and asking her, do I have cancer? Well, I can't objectively give you a yes or no answer. Like, I need to know if I have cancer, yes or no. Well, you know, it's interpretive, and then a whole bunch of like high school drama dancers come in and tell you have cancer through an interpretive dance.
You know, she would actually tell you, oh, I just wanted to let you know that you have an overgrowth of cells.
Yes.
Was it cancer? We call it an overgrowth of cells.
Yes, yes. And it's distorted, and it's making you live shorter.
Yes, yes. Is it fatal? Well, are you dead now?
Now I am.
Well, it's not fatal yet, but let's have a conversation later.
If you're around.
Wouldn't it be great if men could get pregnant, Kennedy? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great one to offload, especially the labor part.
Is it really? I mean, are women scamming men by pretending it's hard? Oh, boy. Now the show has started. Yeah. Oh, it's so tough. It's
No,
my God.
but-
What if it doesn't hurt at all?
Like-
What if this is all an act? What if it actually feels great, like taking a huge dump? After 9 months, the world's most beautiful dump.
I almost thought that was going to be her line of reasoning.
Yes.
I thought she was going to, well, actually, I have administered an epidural to a man who had a giant morning constitution, and I moved his scrotum out of the way so he could birth a giant turd baby that he identified as a human baby, so it has as much worth as anything any woman so-called has out in my delivery room.
This might be the first time in history that anybody has applauded something as disgusting.
Yay!
I mean, maybe when G.G. Allen was alive and used to crap on stage, but I think, you broke new ground there. Exactly. Well, in a world way, I now feel like a parent.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.